everyone, I'm Maria. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Chaos and Crayons, a series about what the real parenting journey looks like from real parents. I wanted to kick off this series by talking about the father's perspective on the parenting journey. And to do that, I brought in someone who I work very closely with, my husband. We're going to talk to him about everything from what he felt when he first discovered he was going to be a father to the challenges he faces and how he deals with them. If you've had a different experience, please feel free to comment below so that we can learn from you. And also, if you have any additional questions, please also comment them below so we can address them. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Welcome, Zamir. Thank you so much for joining us to give us your take on the parenting journey from a father's perspective. So let's just jump right into it. Can you talk a little bit about your beginning experience? What was it like, for example, when you first learned that you were going to be a father?
The experience is a very surreal experience when you find out that you're becoming a father. And there's just a lot of emotions backed up behind it because not only do you want to have a bigger family, but also you have a little person that you got to take care of. And questions start going through your mind, such as, am I going to be a good father? Are we going to provide the best provisions for this person, for this little person? And are we doing enough? So these things, even though it's all preliminary, these thoughts came through my mind when I first found out that I was going to become a father. It's also, you think about all the things that could go wrong. So you have all this worries, anxieties of like, what's this baby going to be healthy? Are we going to be healthy? Like, you start rethinking the way you live your life because now something is depending on you.
Right, like it just sounds like there's just a lot of emotions all trying to come up to the surface all at once, and it's kind of like I remember when I first saw the positive sign on the test, I just exactly what you said. I was nervous, I was scared, I was happy, I was thinking this, that, like all at once, all at once. It was very overwhelming. So I understand what you're saying. So what has been your biggest challenge and how have you overcome it?
I think the biggest challenge with a kid so young is that every day is different. And so you have to adapt continuously. You have to adapt every minute, every hour, every day. Every day you have a new person. And it's because they're growing so fast. And some of the things that I felt like were very important, just staying in the present. Whenever situation you're in, whether you're at the airport or you're at in-laws' house or family's house, just being in the present, being aware of your kid and what they're feeling. I think it's been very helpful.
It's really interesting that you say that because I actually just got off the phone with my friend and I told her, every day I wake up and I don't know who I'm getting. One day my daughter's nice, quiet, and peaceful, and the next day she's like a total tyrant, running amok around the house. But I think what you said is spot on. It's just understanding that you're probably going to get a different child every day, at least in our situation, because she's learning, she's growing, she's exploring, she's trying to figure out who she is exactly. So it is our job to be in the moment, to be present in that moment so that we can figure out who she is that day and help support her in whatever way that she needs. Yeah, I think that's great. So has that been a surprise, or what has been the biggest surprise about fatherhood?
I think one of the biggest surprises for me, the point at which me and my daughter, we connected. And it didn't really happen soon. It didn't happen until like 6, 7 months into her development. And I think that's because, in the beginning, they're not really moving that much. Their expressions are very minimal. They are just kind of just living. But once they start to show emotions and interact with you, and you start to play with them, I think that was like a turning point into this family dynamic, into this family relationship, this father-daughter relationship. And I thought that was amazing. Most people say like they fell in love with their kid the moment they saw them. And that's true, but it's different. You develop a different connection. That's a little bit later. That's what I experienced. And I thought that was very surprising.
And I think that honestly, I think that it's kind of bold of you to admit that, because a lot of people don't admit that out loud, and they should. Everyone wants to romanticize the day that they first see their child, like, oh, I fell in love with my child the moment I met them. Like you said, yes, Yes, I loved our daughter the second I held her, the second I saw her, at the 8 week ultrasound, I fell in love with her immediately. However, you have to understand that, when this new human being enters your life, you don't know that person, and even though it's your baby, it's going to take time to really grow a bond with them, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you don't love them. You still love them just as much, but it's going to take time to build a bond, and that is okay. I actually know several mothers who were actually struggling with that. That was a part of their postpartum experience, was that they were like, I don't feel that instant bond. I don't feel that instant connection with my child, is something wrong with me? And the answer is no. The answer is no. This is a brand new human being in your life. So be gentle with yourself, have mercy on yourself, and it's going to take time, like what you said. So what has surprised you the most about your partner? And no pressure, because your partner is on the line.
I think what surprises me the most is it doesn't really surprise me, but it's worth noting. Just the amount of diligence that you have. It's countless nights where you have to wake up every 30 minutes, every 40 minutes, every 2 hours, especially when our daughter, when she was sick, when she went to the hospital. The diligence, I think that surprises me the most in terms of the strength in order to always be on top of things, in order to always provide what's best for the kid, putting the kid's needs over your own needs. I thought that was something that surprised me the most.
You just reminded me when our daughter had RSV and had to go to the hospital a couple of days. I remember you and I, we were like, just because I don't know any other example, we were like Bonnie and Clyde. Like we were like ride or die together. We were partners. We worked through that together the
Yeah.
whole time, and that was important. That was really key. I needed you there for support. I couldn't have done that without you. I couldn't have been diligent without you and without your
Mm.
support. So on that topic, actually, what do you believe is the key to a strong partnership?
I think it's just what you just said. There's a level of strength that you obtain from your partner. Like, for example, you provided strength for me, and that time through your diligence, you're like, no, we got to be on top of this. Asking the doctors every single question, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? And so that kind of encourages and feeds strength to me. Like, oh yeah, I got to be on top of all of this. I can't let anything slide. This is our kid. We're together on this. That you have somebody helping you as well too. We're all here together. We're all in this together.
How do you think society's expectations of a father differ from that of a mother?
It's kind of an interesting question because I think a lot has changed in terms of societal expectations on what the role of a father and a mother is. Like if you were to ask this question like 40 years ago, you would say that the expectation of society for the fatherly role is going to be more towards breadwinning, and that's pretty much like the extent of the contribution. But in the current times that we live in, I think there's a lot of similarities between the mother's and the father's role in terms of the societal expectations. Society does expect that men, that fathers, are involved in their child's, like their whole life, whether it's bathing, changing diapers, feeding, waking up in the middle of the night, night feeds, calming down after nightmare, talking to the child, taking them to the appointments. This is the societal expectation for both fathers and mothers, and that there's going to be more of a shared role in that process of developing the child.
It sounds like you're saying that as time has gone on, the role of a mother and a father has become more similar rather than different. Whereas maybe 20, 30 years ago, when we were growing up, the father's role was to be the provider, the breadwinner, the protector, and all that, you know, cliche things. Whereas now, the father is expected to do some more of the domesticated work, such as changing diapers or maybe helping out with the laundry or cooking or cleaning, in addition to also being a provider as well. But that role is also, it's not reserved just for men. It's not reserved just for the father. Women do that as well. So it sounds like you're saying that they're more similar than different now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's very important that, to know that men definitely have a very, very important responsibility in being a good role model for their little girls, because you're her first love, basically. And so you are teaching her exactly what a man should be like, how a man should treat her, how a man should pay her respect, and how much respect, right? But
Hmm.
in the same token, though, I think the same could be said for men with boys too, because those men are also role models. They're also going to show their boys, their sons, you need to grow up and be like this. You need to grow up and teach and treat your woman like this, right? And the way that they interact with their mothers is how you need to interact with your wife. So
Yeah.
I think that is a huge difference between the role that a mom plays in shaping the values and character of their child, and the role of a father. I think that's very important. That's very important to mention.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very important. And the same way too with when it comes to the role a mother plays with the character of a child, is because especially with our daughter, she looks at how her mother, you, treats everyone else in her life. Her husband, me, her brothers, her parents. These kids are so smart. They pay attention to everything. They observe everything. So they're just soaking in data on their perception on values and character based on how the parents interact with everybody in the
Hmm.
world. And
Hmm.
so it's just amazing to see that.
What are the biggest challenges fathers face with modern parenting, and how can you work around it?
The biggest challenge is this juggle. I think with modern parenting and just modern societal expectations, we live in such a go, go, go society. Especially in the area that we live in, everyone's all about, hey, you gotta get your kids to soccer, get your kids to music class, get your kids to this, get them involved in all sorts of activities possible. But then again, when you're married, when you have a job, when you have a business, when you have career aspirations, when you have hobbies, it can be a lot to juggle all of this together. So I think that, the biggest difficulty in modern parenting is just managing of time and prioritizing. I think a lot of parents kind of put too much pressure on themselves because they're just trying to optimize everything and just so they can do everything possible in order to help their kids develop. But, sometimes, actually most of the time, you don't really need much, just let the kid explore, be there for them. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, just have your kid explore, be there with them, and don't be too hard on yourself in terms of, well, we got to schedule this, and then we got to get up and go here, and then we got to get up and go there. It's too much for the kid. This is what's happening in our modern world right now. We're just all about go, go, go. The kids don't have any concept of time. So this time type of pressure that we put on our kids, because of our modern societal expectations, I think sometimes it's too hard on us as parents and also on the kids.
I think that's a great point. And honestly, as you're talking, I'm thinking it can possibly lead to anxiety to constantly, have your kid like on a schedule, go, go, go. We have to go here, we have to go there, the parent is gonna be anxious to try to be on time for everything. And the child is gonna see that, and that's exactly what they're going to reflect. I will never forget when we didn't even have children. Yeah, we were planning, and I was like, oh, we need a 3-row SUV, because we need a family car and blah blah blah. And you were like, man, my mom had 2 kids and a Nissan Sentra, and we were fine. I will always remember that. I will always remember that, because you said, like, people are always trying to do too much, and that's nothing against women or dads with 3-row SUVs. Like, they're great. I still want one, you know. But you're right. Your mom had 2 kids with a Nissan Sentra, and she was fine. So
Yeah.
I think that is important. A lot of parents put too much pressure on themselves to get the latest and greatest of everything. And at the end of the day, we all just need to have some grace and some mercy on ourselves, and, just do the best that we can. And that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I want to wrap this session up with any kind of advice that you might have for new dads or fathers to be.
My biggest advice is cherish the moment, even in times of difficulty. Find the good in it. Try to find the good in everything. So when your child's yelling at you, smacking you, trying to beat you up and just having a tantrum. Just look at her and be like, yeah, this is a cute baby. This is a cute baby. And just kind of let it go. And also, like, don't be afraid to just stop what you're doing. We're always, again, we're such in a rush to, we have to go somewhere, we have to be somewhere. It's usually when tantrums happen, is when you're on the move. So don't be afraid that when, like, things happen, when your child doesn't want to move or doesn't want to go anywhere, just let him play. Like, for example, on our trip in Banff, sometimes Alia just wanted to play in the dirt in the parking lot. And I was like, you guys go ahead, let's let her play. Because she wants to play here. She's really enjoying this. And I'm okay because everywhere is beautiful anyway. So I can just sit and look around and just let her play in the dirt. And then I noticed a huge difference in her mood afterwards. She was just happy because she got to have her own time. There's no concept of time for these kids. And I think that's very important.
That's important to keep in perspective. When our daughter was first born, I tried my best not to stick to a schedule. I just followed her lead. When she wanted to eat, we ate. When she wanted to sleep, we slept. So I definitely just follow her lead. And now I'm falling into the modern society trap of, oh, we have to be on schedule, we have to be on time, we have to sign up for this, and this, but I need to, channel my inner Zamir and kind of let her take the lead and to tell me what she needs. Because you're right. I remember that when we were in Banff, sometimes she just wanted to stay in the parking lot and play in the puddles, and sometimes she just wanted to stay in the Airbnb and color. It's okay, because you're, like you said, children don't have a concept of time, so we just follow their lead and let them tell us what they need for that day.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for joining the session and giving us a father's perspective on the parenting journey. Really appreciate all of your insight. And again, if you have a different experience, please feel free to share it in the comments. Or if you have any questions, also feel free to share those in the comments so that we can address those. But okay, thank you so much, Samir. And I hope we can have you on here again for future episodes.
Oh, thank you very much.